Well, thanks, Dave, and thanks, Mike, for having us. One of the really important things for us coming out of the transition from Broadsoft to Cisco, kind of free to do what we like to do, is, I absolutely agree with you, is that, we like working together. We've worked together for quite some time. And as we started kind of thinking about what was the next kind of step in our journey, we said, yeah, one of the things that's really important is can we find something to work together on? And as we started to kind of engage with companies that were struggling in some element of what we like to think about as scale, where one of us, or all of us together can really help them kind of overcome that and kind of grow the business and kind of get to that place where entrepreneur really wants to get to. That seemed like an exciting thing for us to kind of work on together. And so we kind of decided, okay, let's do that. I have to be honest, I don't think we ever thought we were going to go this hard this early. Like any great entrepreneur, you adapt. As we started this business, COVID-19 kind of came in and had us all go from meeting at local restaurants and sometimes a few bars to basically working from home and realizing that, hey, we got a lot of free time now since we're not traveling around the world. Let's kind of go at it hard. So we had a very quick start in the beginning of March and started to kind of very quickly work with a few clients. It's been great fun. So that's what's got me off the couch.
Working with Mike and Jim, have the opportunity to work with some guys I like, focus on some new technologies and new areas that I'm eager to learn about. When we take a look at companies at True North, I think it has to be a good fit for us. It has to be guys that we enjoy working with. It has to be companies where we have a common vision and believe in it.
And last but not least, Jim, how about you? What motivated you to make the move and jump right back in here?
I think it's doing good and doing well. We obviously had a great run at Broadsoft, and most importantly, I think the three of us really like working with each other, and we were, I think, pretty effective working with each other. And the core of that was we covered a lot of ground. It's sort of like the union and intersection of a Venn diagram from elementary school, but we had our specialties, but we overlapped from a strategy and business standpoint. We were effective in it, and we trusted each other a lot, and that's really the only way you can grow a great company like we did it at Broadsoft. All three of us are product technology nerds and kind of business model nerds. And so this gives us an opportunity to do well and do good, but to help companies where we're intrigued with the management team, the business model, and the technology, but we can bring a perspective and a set of skills for CEO as CXO suite and really help them take it to the next level. We're charged up.
I think one of the things we assess early on is, does the company really want help? A lot of people say they want help, but they don't really want it. So I think it's kind of a joint decision by both parties to decide if it's the right thing to move forward. I think we probably do best when the company that we're working with kind of treats us as we're part of the team. That's the mentality that we take, that, we're part of the team, we're working with them to, make everything a success. But if the company doesn't want help, then there's not much you can really do. You might as well just move on and find someone who's looking for your help.
And I found that that's a tough thing for a lot of founder CEOs, that they're justifiably very passionate about it. When you get engaged, the initial why sometimes is you deviate from why you founded the company and you kind of lose sight of the mission. But sometimes you're so passionate, tied into that direction, that although you know you need help, you may not be open to it. What's your approach to then work with the management team, the CEO, to help them pivot and execute upon your recommendations?
I mean, every engagement's different, as you can imagine. I think we're normally trying to be very, before we get into that engagement, try to really understand what are the challenges, what are the objectives, what is the entrepreneur. Sometimes, we debrief with investors. What are we trying to achieve? We kind of look at this usually in a 12-month period. We like to be involved for a while. So we kind of know what's the point we're trying to reach. And then we kind of work on kind of the execution plan. And we kind of like looking at the execution plan in kind of 60-day chunks. So we kind of know what we got to do. The entrepreneur knows what they got to do. And we kind of keep moving that engagement along. So, sometimes we go in and also they change. I mean, we could get engaged and the entrepreneur says, you know what, that was really important 30 days ago. No longer important. Let's do this. And so we'll pivot with them and try to deal with what their highest priorities are. We try to stay pretty actively engaged. One of is, as mentioned, one of us is prime. We're usually talking to that entrepreneur at least once a week, sometimes a lot more. Even though one of us is prime, that all of us are pretty engaged. I mean, one of our CEOs had a panic attack last night. He texted me, and it was really not my area of expertise, and I redirected him to Jim, and Jim basically walked him, I guess, off the cliff this morning. But, those are some of the things that, how we want to interact and how we want to stay pretty fluid. I think the other thing we try to do early on, we try to find ways in which we really have a very clear insight as to the running of the business. So we usually, something that Jim usually works with the entrepreneurs on is how do we get a really clear view of the pipeline and the finances and all. So we're not just consultants where we give advice. We understand the heartbeat of the business. We're operator kind of guys. We don't want to sit there and just give advice. We want to really make sure it's working. And so we really have a very tight connection between ourselves and those entrepreneurs. So those are some of the things that we're doing.